So it's that time to travel further to Luminarium, and we learned what it all means. We got lore, we got Easter eggs, we got all these things that we gotta dissect and look through the lines. So this week's track is called Wreak, On One's Self. And this is a multi-layered adventure. The lyrics go: falling apart at the seams, edges burned, so it seems. Shadows fall upon what dreams we may have had through beams. The light doesn't shine through anymore, only left with a passive aggro war. No space left to call my own, just a joker staring at a throne. Waking up to the screams of peasants in a place that was once so pleasant. Is there any hope behind the meaning? No hope for God's intervening. The light doesn't shine through anymore, only left with a passive aggro war. No space to call my own, just a joker staring at a throne. I fantasized about a life of freedom, fantasies like statues in a museum. My heart hardens, my soul divides, the fight for life subsides. Just a simple artisan, a commoner, my mind wired to be a foreigner. I'll never rise as high as royalty, my eyes scorched with jealousy. Now I create images of suffocation, my last breath's liberation. With ravaged clothes and broken hands, I pray to be ashes with the sand. Left with my blood dripping from fingertips, dying didn't hurt so much as my flesh was ripped. A life filled with pain and compromise. This is the moment my sufferings subside. The light doesn't shine through anymore, only left with a passive aggro war. No space left to call my own, just a joker staring at a throne. I fantasized about a life of freedom, fantasies like statues in a museum. My heart hardens, my soul divides, the fight for life subsides. So this particular song, it has many layers to it that overlap. And, like you can have a single lyric mean many things. And so this particular song is about me growing older, learning how to be a better person, a different person that I was used to, a husband, a father, a coworker, and then living in a world that had ever increasing tensions that had grown exponentially since then to now. And then there's also the understanding and the learning that I'm autistic and that my depression, my thoughts of unaliving myself, wasn't because of some kind of damage to my brain or some kind of weird negative religious influence, as my mother liked to make me feel, that it was just I'm autistic. And part of that is, dopamine deficiency. And that's normal. You just have to learn how to manage it and take breaks throughout the day to give yourself a moment to recharge. That's it. Maybe it's just as something as simple as being overstimulated and you have a negative reaction and you're like, I have to get out of this environment or around these people, or I have to eject from this conversation and do something else that's going to be more positively stimulating. That's why I always say, it's like, choose happiness. It's like, people get upset when you say, well, just choose to be happy. And it's like, well, it's not even choosing to be happy so much as saying, hey, I'm going to make good choices that are going to promote happiness and lead me to happiness, instead of nurturing a garden full of weeds, that mental garden, nurturing toxic shit that poisons everything that you're trying to do. And so there's all of that. There's that having a foundation in your life as an autistic, and then not knowing it, and then coming up to be a partner and a father, and then having kids be all up in your stuff all the time, and that can get overstimulating, and then you can become agitated, and it becomes difficult, and you start having darker thoughts because of it. But those darker thoughts aren't dark. They're not wrong. It's just, hey, you need to take a break and recharge. And that's what this is it's you're wreaking havoc upon one's self, on yourself, and trying to be aware of the environments that you're in, even if you're not autistic, but neurodivergent in any way, or maybe you're neurotypical, and just understanding that sometimes you're having a bad day, and it's okay to say, hey, I got to step away from this. I got to, so it's like dreams of freedom and getting yourself into a place where the pain and the suffering subsides, and you can recalibrate, recharge, refocus, and then re-enter those situations, those environments with a clear head, And that's something I struggle as an elder millennial, is something we're always kind of taught to hustle and grind and push, try not to let things affect you, and just push through the stress and get her done. And as I've gotten older, it's just been like, no, that's not the solution to everything. You can do a lot of damage to yourself and a lot of damage to others, especially when you're a parent, that you are going to affect someone negatively for generations. And even after you're gone, your actions, your choices affect for decades, hundreds of years even. Like, it's wild to think about that, and that pressure is terrifying. So that's kind of what that is, and it's one of those songs that it's like being in the heat of the moment of just rage and chaos and anxiety and depression, and being bombarded by feelings and fear, and needing to put something out to get over it. And that's what I do a lot of times, is when I become hyper-focused or obsessed, sometimes the best thing to do is just to sit down, write some music, write some lyrics, because you can always throw that stuff away. You can always trash the journal, you can always tear the page, you can always delete the track, you can do whatever. You don't have to stick to it if you don't want to. And it's just get it out. And so that's, get that stuff out before you wreak on oneself. And it's one of those songs that, yeah, I did commit to the audio. I did commit to the recording. I did commit to the writing, because for me, I try to write stuff and put stuff out there to have people understand you're not alone. There's other people that are struggling as well. There's other people that struggle like you do. And guess what? There's a soundtrack out there. There's music out there that says, hey, you're not alone in this. And by looking at something and going, oh, this person struggles like I do, and they're still fighting every day to be better than they were yesterday, and hopefully inspire someone to choose a path of positivity that they can potentially contribute more to themselves positively, as well as everybody else around them. That's all it is. So anyways, I guess it's one of my sappier songs, if you want to call it that, but I think that stuff's important, and I think it's something we all experience together. Anyways, Luminarium out in November. Wreak on Oneself live playthrough dropping Saturday on YouTube. Please go follow me on the YouTubes, and we will experience this thing together. Kind of lost myself there at the end. Anyways, thank you. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. Please follow me on the things. Get on the different streaming things and follow me. And I really hope you guys enjoy this record and enjoying the videos as they've been coming out.